Hello everybody, and welcome to another video. And in this video we're going to look at the Paco Model C-20. And as you can see, it's resistance and capacity. It says capacitance ratio bridge. And essentially what you can do with this came out about 1960, and this was popular. Several models of as Paco. Ico had some, Heathkit, different ones come out with them. And essentially you could take an unknown value resistor, capacitor, put it across over here, set the range switch, and then you got your magic eye tube here, like a 1629. I don't have it turned on, of course, right now or anything. And then you used to say it was 200K resistor. And over here, set your switch to here. Now, if it's completely unknown, I'll usually start at the very top, look for it, come back. But say, I also say I'm troubleshooting and going through, working on, tube type stuff. It's mainly, what it was for. But it can be used on modern stuff too. And I'm going through and I want to check out, I got a part of a circuit, this thing acting right, so I get this resistor out, pull it out of circuit, and it says 200K, or going by the color bands. So stick it in here across here, set this between 5K, and it says 5 meg, so I know it's in that range. And I tune right in here and see if the eye opens. But if the eye opens way up here or way over here, then yeah, that resistor's drifted way too bad, or it's starting to fail internally or something. If I come around in this area somewhere in here, because a lot of them, especially back then, was 20 and 10% tolerance. Somewhere in here, I'm like, okay, that resistor's probably good. It's reading right in the range. So let's look for something else. And also the same thing to do with capacitors. Put it over here on the capacitor range. And then also on capacitors, you can sit here and adjust the power factor, or essentially it's the ESR. And as long as it's down here, like below 15, maybe back in then, times they say, well, if it's below 30, it's all right. Nowadays, and stuff, I see them. If it's anything, above 10, 15, then, I don't want to use it. You set this, put your capacitor in there, adjust this till you find the look. Say it's like here, we'll go over here again, say it was 2 microfarad capacitor, and come right in here somewhere. As long as it's real close, say it starts there and it opens up, I'm like, well, that's pretty close. We'll leave this at 0. Okay, there. Well, okay, it says 2 microfarad. It's close enough, 2 microfarad. Now we'll take this and bring it up and look for that to open again and find the null. If I'm way up here, then I'm like, yeah, it's starting to fail. It's getting, if it's still around here somewhere, I'm like, okay, that's all right. And then also with capacitors, you got your voltage. You can put it over here and check for leakage. That's electrolytic. Put it here, and it's going to put voltage across here. Say it's rated at 150 volts. I can bring this up to 150 volts and make good and sure you're not touching this, because this goes up to 500 volts. And I'm cranked it up to here, and it's set here in this range. There's 500 volts across those terminals right there. And look for that same thing, let that eye open. And as it come up through there, and it'll kind of close, but as the capacitor charges up, it'll open up. If it opens up, then it's fine. Now there's ways to do that better. This is kind of dangerous. You got to be careful with it. And then you can't say, okay, well, you're up here, say it's a 450 volt capacitor, and you're up 450. Okay, it looks good. You can't reach and just pull it off of there. It could really hurt you really bad, even kill you. So you got to make sure you always bring this back to 0. Give it a few seconds to discharge. But anyway, nowadays there's better ways to do that, and even I've got a better thing, and it works really, really good at low voltage, and it'll do better than this, really, at checking for leakage. And of course, not leakage, I mean internal leakage. You know, essentially the capacitor starting to turn into a resistor. I don't mean actual physical stuff, goop leaking out of the resistor itself or the capacitor itself. Like if you had a capacitor, now this is a wax capacitor, so it's wax here. It's not. It looks like goop could be coming out, but that's just the wax they put in there. So I don't mean anything leaking out physically, but they do that. Of course, you see one leaking out. Here's one here. Like if this is popped open here, and there's stuff leaking out of it, then you know definitely throw that away. We're talking about the internal, as the dielectric and the layers inside start breaking down, they'll start forming or lower resistance across it, and lower, and eventually it can short out, and that's really, really bad. So, but pretty much anymore, you know, when you've seen my other videos, you watch videos like with at Mr. Carlson's lab, you know, replace them. Don't go through and say, well, let me check it or try to reform it. You can do that with this too. You could stick it up to 150 volts, 150 volt capacitor, say don't open, leave it on 150 volts and leave it there. Go make a cup of coffee, go do whatever for a little bit, or work another part of something else, and eventually, now sometimes it won't. If it's really bad, it's gone capacitor, it ain't gonna do nothing. It could actually go pop and scare the crap out of you, but eventually that thing will slowly start opening up as it kind of reforms itself. And you're like, oh yeah, I got it fixed now. And it'll work for a little while, but it's a ticking time bomb. When's it actually going to go? And when it does, and shorts, you can take out tubes, take out the worst thing, you know, okay, it blows a tube or something, you know, and they're getting harder to find, but they're still, most tubes are easy to come across still, you know, especially for the right price. Some of them get more expensive, but you can still get them. But if it goes sometimes and takes out an audio transformer or something, that's bad. So, but these are neat to have just for checking things, you know, different values of stuff. Sometimes you just want to throw it on there just to see how to do whatever, just to kind of look at things. But especially if you got one that's not that old and you just kind of want to check it. But like I say, there's better ways now. You don't have to use this high voltage. But so really, I want to restore this one. And the last time the guy I got it from plugged up and it's working. I don't know what's been done inside, if anything's been done. So I don't want to test it yet. I don't want that same thing to happen. You know, have a bad capacitor, plug it in, and it take out the power transformer or something in it or whatever. So, or especially this eye tube. You can still get these, but they're getting harder to find and things like that. So, let's get it apart now and see what. I went ahead and took these screws out. Well, that's interesting. Now these you could buy. Well, that's really interesting. I see something down below here. These you could buy made, or you can buy them as a kit. And this one, obviously, somebody's put together as a kit. As you can see, they've marked different things here to help them go along with it. They put stuff in. Over here, you can see markings. 1 and 2, they've got JJ. I guess it's for jacks, or maybe it's the way it's labeled in the manual. I've got a copy of the manual over here, and yeah, it is. I see that. You can see that. See how things got N, R, C, A, E. So they have marked that. And this thing's only got 2 tubes in it. You've got your rectifier tube here, 6x5. Should be, I believe it's, yeah, 6x5. Then you got the magic eye tube here. You got a capacitor up here. Well, that's hard to see. Let's get some more light in here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Capacitor in here. 0.22 microfarad, 600 volt. And you know what I'm thinking about? You know, you could go in. Oh, look at that. See that? Paco, original Paco tube. You could go in now, pull this tube out, stick in a couple, like one in 4007s, maybe a current limited resistor or whatever, and you could eliminate the tube. But hey, why would we want to do that now? We want to keep it as stock as possible, because this will be, I'm going to restore this, and it's going to be kind of half shelf queen, half, it'll get used. I'll put it up here on the bench with the other stuff up here. I'll get it put in there, all that, and things get kind of moved around. But yeah, I remember this working, and that's pretty neat. It's got a Paco. It's really hard to tell, it being, yeah, I can see where the guy's got his soldering iron too close to the wire there. Real easy to do when it's somebody's not real experienced. That looks almost, nope, it ain't a cold solder joint. But anyway, now these, let's see if we can look at these here. These resistors right here need something to point with. These are precision wound resistors, so let's hope they're good. If not, it's going to be complicated sometimes to get these replaced. Sometimes they actually match them to a circuit and have them specially made where it needs to be a 202 ohm resistor or something like that, instead of just grabbing off the shelf stuff, or a 219 or some oddball. But these are probably going to be fine. Look at the, oh, okay, so these two are almost touching, but it's going back to the same point, so that's fine. This mica capacitor is probably fine. This capacitor will have to go. I hope, bring this back out a little bit. This is probably like a 5-watt potentiometer. That's your voltage control there, so it's going to have to pull a lot of current. Alright, let's go ahead and just flip this up. That's the precision capacitor. That's a 2 microfarad 200 volts. Look how big that is. I mean, compare it to a 9-volt battery. That is supposed to go over here, right there, I believe. Get this back out. See right here. That's there's the one side of that potentiometer for the power factor, and then back up to the, yeah, back up to the rotary switch there. Okay. So that's came loose for some reason. A transmitter bumped around, or just wasn't soldered good. Okay. Of course that'll have to go. What's back here will have to go. Yeah, I think I can come in a little closer. Yeah. I'll just leave it like that. That'll have to go. Check that. We'll check that. This here's just got to be, yeah, coming off of the rectifier. So yeah, that's just your filter capacitors there. Comes in here. Yep. That's 560 volts. Goes to the plates. Comes out. Yeah, yep. See, there's just your. So those will have to go. Now this one here, 8 microfarad at 525 volts. I don't have one that big. I'll have to come up with something for that. I'll probably put 2 in series. 4 microfarad, that'll be easy. That'll go, that'll go. And I know. Yeah, that's it right here. That's the one I already pointed at. This here is this here. They've got across the line. I hope that's focusing okay. Now, that's to keep out radio frequency interference and EMFI and all that stuff. So, but if this shorts, if this fails shorted, that's going to put, you know, this is a non-polarized plug. Now if you rebuild this, you know, again, like I always say, you know, take care and watch what you're doing. If you ain't comfortable with this, don't do it. There's a lot of, like I said, 560 volts that could kill you, hurt you really bad. There's voltage all in this thing. If you want to replace this cord with a polarized cord, you know, or a grounded cord, and ground the chassis, because this one here don't have, you know, it's got a transformer in it. The line side's not going to the, you know, one side's not going to the chassis or anything like that, like an All-American 5 or All-American 6 or anything. So you could, but that can cause other issues sometimes down the road with other test equipment and stuff like that. So it came with a 2-line cord. I'm going to put a 2-line cord back on it. What I'm going to do though is replace this with a safety capacitor. 0.01 microfarad. I've got some of those. I'll put that across there. That way, and safety capacitors are designed to, if they do fail, they always fail open. So if it fails and goes out, you might not even know it. This thing will still keep working. You just might get some interference or something sometimes, whatever. But with this here, you know, it's really simple circuit. It's not, you know, radio receiver or anything with a lot of RF anyway or whatever. So you're probably not even gonna, you know, bother anything. And it's not only to keep it from coming in, it's to keep it from coming out this way. If something in here, you know, is oscillating or something, and keep going back. But there again, there's really nothing in here. There's no exciters in here, nothing to. So, but I'm still going to replace it. It was there at the factory. I usually put one anyway. Sometimes I'll put 2. I put one across the line. And I'm going to just replace that. I mean, that's all there is to it, really. I mean, there's not a whole lot. Replaced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 capacitors down there. Checked out those resistors. Let's see, this resistor here, that's Allen Bradley. That'll be fine. That one, I don't know. We'll have to check it. It looks almost like a roundy. That one, check that one. And that capacitor's got to go. That one's got to go. You know, clean it up some. Let's bring it back around here. It's pretty good shape, really. This is not the original knob. Somebody's either messed it up or lost it, or okay, yeah, that's a range switch, and that all looks original there. We'll spray contact cleaner and clean this. We'll clean the potentiometers, clean this potentiometer. Make sure. Well, if you're looking at it from the side, nothing's dragging or hitting. I'll probably just clean this up. I'm not going to worry about. There's little scratches here and there. Probably just leave that. You know, it's the character of it. This came out in around 1960, late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in there. So, you know, for its age, these screws are bothering me here. They're rusty. I'll either clean those or the ones that came out the back. See that? I don't think that's focusing good, but you can see the ones that came out of the back. They're a lot better. I may just switch them around. It's the same. No, it ain't. There's like a sheet metal screw, and that's a ready screw with a nut on it. Okay. Either replace them or just clean them up. Some people leave that. That's the patina of it. And yeah, some things, yeah, but this, I'll clean it up. That's pretty much what I'll do there. I'll replace all the capacitors. And then we'll go over the alignment procedure, which is really, really easy on this. And we'll check a few things with it. In part 2 of this video. Until then, this is Michael, K4EST.